Hi, I'm Krista Mehr,
Hi, I'm Lynn Brueckman.
and welcome to
Wine About the Market.
where we drink wine and we talk about real estate.
Because that's what we love to do.
That's what we do every day.
Every day. What'd you do, Krista? What did you do today?
Well, I worked all day, and I'm really in the mood for some wine, so we should probably play
A little game of spin the bottle.
white, red, or rosé.
Let's go.
All right. So we didn't have any rosé, so our choices tonight are white and red,
Okay.
which I'll take. I'm not picky.
Ready to spin?
Spin it. Whoa!
It
Oh,
looks
it's
like it's a
red.
red night.
Perfect. Crack that baby open, Lynn. So what'd you do today?
Today was a good day. I actually closed on my listing here in the Highlands.
Oh, cool.
A
Which one?
townhouse over on Mehr Lane, which was great for my seller who's moving down to California.
That's right. She gave you a shout out on Facebook to the entire Highlands. That was really nice of
Very
her.
sweet client. I wish her lots of luck down in California. And I went pending with Carla. Carla and I listed a home together, and we went pending over on Katsura.
Very cool.
What did you do today?
What did I do? I took some personal time because tomorrow's my birthday.
Happy birthday, Krista.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm not 40 yet, so that's good.
Thanks for reminding me.
Well, cheers to that. And what else did I do? Cheers. I showed a beautiful home in Maple Valley.
Nice.
And I don't particularly go out there very often, but I will tell you, this house was so crazy.
What was great about it?
So it was designed by a nationally renowned architect. The sellers actually spent $4 million building it.
Nice.
Yeah, crazy custom. It's like concrete and steel. It's very, very custom to the particular owner. My clients have 4 kids. Is extremely modern. A lot of kind of like sharp edges.
Yeah.
So my biggest concern for that client was, is this a practical home for 4 small children? Because it's very modern, very, very high end, lots of glass, lots of concrete, lots of steel. And so they're in love with the home. They said that their kids will just get used to living in a museum.
Huh.
So
they loved it.
They loved it.
And I think you'll be bringing an offer.
It's a bargain.
Yeah.
It's a crazy bargain because this particular client of mine is a home builder, and he knows how much it would cost to build a home like that.
Yeah.
And so he said it would cost about $5 million to build today, and it's listed under $2 million.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good deal for your buyers.
Yeah, good deal. Very good deal. There's going to be 3 offers on the home. And so hopefully tomorrow, which is my birthday. Woo! Cheers!
Cheers!
Wine about the market.
Well, you write very competitive offers.
I do. I'm
so
very compelling.
You are very good at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it will be a success.
Yeah. What'd you do this weekend?
Oh, let's see. Working some deals still in the Highlands. Working with bringing on lots of new buyers. Actually, we went down to Normandy Park and that's my first time down there, venturing kind of out of the area. And showed some homes down there that this client's looking for kind of an investment opportunity. And so we looked at some mid-century homes, some 1970s homes, and they're looking to kind of take on a project. And then we saw a beautiful home on the lake that had been remodeled.
Okay.
So it was a 1972 home. And
what price point? Because even that's like the south end, but Normandy Park is like a really cool little pocket.
Kind of up and coming. It's very much turning over.
It's always been popular.
Yeah, it was a very cute little neighborhood on a teeny little lake down there, and the home was bought in February for $800, maybe $820, and they have it on the market right now for $1.3.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
What
beautifully done.
Kind of updates fetch that kind of increase? What did they do?
Yeah, so everyone right now loves light and bright. There's tons of windows in this home, modern kitchen, all the upscale finishes, but what's trending right now is those light gray colors and the white finishes, very light and bright kitchens, but very minimal too.
Did they have quartz?
They had quartz countertops in the kitchen and the bathrooms.
Yep.
And everything was just very tastefully done. Nothing nothing extravagant, just very tasteful and
Very cool. Are they going to make an offer?
They're just starting their search, so we're not quite ready. It's a beautiful home. They're just not quite ready to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
We're going to keep looking. That's the fun part.
Well, cheers to that. Drink up.
Cheers
Buttercup.
to that.
Wine about the market.
Wine about the market.
Let's talk about winers and the market.
Let's talk about winers.
Let's talk about people who wine. Because, like, real estate's really funny because whether it's a buyer's market or a seller's market, right? It's
one party's not going to be
one party's
quite
not
happy.
happy.
Very true.
Right? Like when the market totally crashes in like 2012, 13, 2000, actually from about 2008 to 2000, gosh, when 2012, 13.
Yeah.
It was a rough go. And like sellers, they were just whining. And actually things were so rough. Buyers were kind of really whiny too. They used to, when I got back into real estate, on an inspection, everybody was able to actually have an inspection, right?
And get a few things. And
there was things. So like people would laundry list the poor seller on tons and tons of inspection items. So sellers were really happy, and so sellers have been, or sellers were unhappy. Now, we're kind of coming out of a
very happy seller phase.
That's right. And but now who's whining the most?
Right. The sellers are a little unhappy right now locally. Just homes are sitting a little bit, and I don't know if you're getting asked this. I'm sure you are, but all my clients are wanting to know what's going on, and homes are sitting in the Highlands for 4 weeks. What's the deal? It's never happened, and it's kind of we're venturing into this new market, and it's just turning. And you said it perfectly, a couple weeks ago. This is healthy. This is a much healthier market when homes sit for a month or so, and we're not seeing those crazy escalations that we saw, and people literally overpaying for the home that they're buying. So
the question I'm getting from a lot of people is, where's the market going? And nobody, I don't care who you are, or how much you know, or anything like that. Nobody knows. No. Nobody knows.
We can make our best educated guess based on what we've learned and what we know about trends, but
all we know is that the market's going to go up and down.
Yep.
Cheers to that.
It will. And it will continue to do so.
Yep. You see, I'm a compulsive drinker when I'm on camera. Lynn's not drinking. Drink up, Lynn.
Okay.
Come on.
I'll catch up. It's your birthday tomorrow.
I know. Come on. Drink to my birthday. And I'm a pusher. If you're gonna drink with me, I'm gonna push. I'm gonna push you. You might get in trouble with me. Let's see. So I personally think that we are in for a correction, and so
which it was bound to come, right?
This
could not sustain itself where we have been for the last 4 years or so, 4 or 5 years. It's just it could not keep doing what it was doing.
No way. And a really interesting indicator of kind of some insight and to where the market was going. Last year, I know about 5 very well-known agents who all sold their big houses last year and moved. So I sold my big house and downsized. I know a couple of Windermere agents, another agent in our area. He moved out of a big house, kind of cashed out and bought a modest home. And so I think a lot of even agents kind of saw like, hey, this crazy market can't continue. In Seattle, we saw homes going $100,000 to $200,000, sometimes $300,000 over asking. In the Highlands, what were some of the things that you saw in the Highlands, like last year compared to right now?
Oh gosh, last year I didn't have a listing stay on the market last year longer than 5-6 days max. It went to the review date, and we had multiple offers, and we picked the best one. It was great. It was great for sellers. It felt like we were doing a great job, and we just sort of listed the home, and it did its thing. But it's definitely turned a corner. And whether buyers, there's lots of reasons, I believe, but interest rates have had an impact, and buyers just got a little tired, I think, of jumping in there and competing and overpaying. And it got frustrating for a lot of people.
Yeah, and that happened every year. So buyers would always get really tired at some point in the year. We never knew when the hell it was going to happen. It was like, is it going to happen in May? I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen in May. I've seen it happen in June. I've seen it happen in July. It always gets slow in August and September. This year's totally different. So, whereas things would get slow, but inventory would still kind of go at some point right around that 3-week mark. It would go pending, whatever it was in the Highlands over the last 4 to 5 years. Now we're really seeing, we're actually seeing tons of price reductions, which we haven't seen in ages. And we're not just saying like, $5,000, $10,000. I had a house, beautiful house off of East Lake Sammamish Parkway. Everything in that neighborhood, newer Toll Brothers, modern, pretty, right by the lake, had some views. We put that thing on for $1,425, and then we reduced it to $1,399. And then as like what we're doing now almost is like doing these Hail Mary price drops. I just did another one today in Seattle for a listing, where we listed it, we dropped it down to $1,350. And like no one through the open house. Now I will say, this last week, it seems like things.
We felt a little something.
Yeah, things picked up. Yep. So your listing went pending.
It did go pending, and we sat for a while, which was odd. And then a couple weeks, we priced it pretty well, I thought. We got through the first weekend.
Did you go 2 full weekends on the market?
We went 2 full weekends. Yeah. And then we ended up with 2 offers on a given day. So something shifted a little bit. Maybe it's just a.
I have to tell you, I'm a little bit jealous that your listing went pending.
I know you are.
I know. Yeah.
But it means that there's good news is that we had 2 offers though.
I know.
So there are buyers out there.
Yeah.
We just need to keep chugging along. I'm telling all of my sellers right now, patience is the key. It's just the way the market is. It's not because anything has been done wrong. I have a beautiful listing in the Highlands right now, and we're just working that market and figuring out that sweet spot for price. And
yeah, it shifts. The market, when it shifts back the other way, and there really is a correction, it takes everybody
a moment.
Well, yeah, I mean, it takes everybody by surprise,
right?
Right, and so when the market's going up and up and up, and then all of a sudden the market just like it feels like the bottom, came out.
When people feel that, people kind of take a step back and don't make any big decisions. They're going to wait and see what's going to happen. They're waiting to see what's happening in the region, and no one wants to jump out there and make a big, huge financial decision when it feels like there's some unrest.
Yeah, totally. So let's talk about like some of the reasons why, because there's definitely some real things going on in the market, and there's really practical. There's about 3 or 4 things that are really impacting the market right now in the Seattle and Bellevue area. The number one thing I think is, there's 2 pretty equal forces, maybe 3. Number one that comes to mind is that I am not seeing international buyers purchasing with cash this year. And that was pretty much the primary thing why things were going so crazy.
For sure.
Yep. So like 2 years ago, I would say over 50%, maybe 50 to 75% of my listings were purchased by Chinese cash buyers.
Right.
Or international buyers, right? And it was all cash. Those buyers they're not here anymore, unfortunately. Right. They are having a hard time getting their money out of the country. So the government has tightened the restrictions on that. They can only move about $50K at a time.
Right.
And I do talk to a lot of brokers that specialize in international buyers. Yeah. And they said that 2017, those buyers still had money here. It was almost like the leftover money was spent last year.
Yeah.
And so what was happening was that the international cash buyers and all of the regular buyers, like who were relocated for jobs here, like Microsoft, Amazon, Starbucks, they were fighting with each other. And so even though somebody was financing, they would escalate up to try to beat that cash offer.
Correct.
And so they were just financing these crazy amounts, which leads me to the second thing. So Amazon reloads.
In the news, yes.
Yeah. So Amazon is really not doing any mass hiring right now. And so I talked to somebody at my open house who happened to be an Amazon employee. And so Amazon has enough employees. And so when they need, they're going through an internal correction of sorts with employment.
Yep.
So they are closing some programs like Kindle, and then instead of laying those people off, they're shifting them over to other hiring positions because they are well staffed.
Right.
So instead of recruiting from all over the country like they have been for the past 5 years, they're just laterally moving people, and that's why we're not seeing the relocation.
Right. True. Another big impact is interest rates. You know, buyers can only be approved for so much, and the interest rates definitely impacting buyers a little bit. And there's really I don't know if there's really an end in sight to those coming back down this year, but we'll keep an eye on that for our buyers.
What does Rob say? So we work with a great lender. He's really funny and awesome and smart. He's really great. Who is it?
Rob Tamaela Mortgage. Little shout out.
Hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob. Wait, cheers to Rob.
Cheers to Rob.
Hi, Rob.
Maybe we'll have Rob on with us to whine about the market. I mean, he's definitely seen, it's interesting because he's doing just as many mortgages right now, he says, which is great. So the buyers are out there, but once you start creeping up close to 5%, it's just,
it makes
does impact how much
payment.
Payments start going up.
The payments go crazy high.
Yep.
Not only
and
that,
investors.
Give me the wine, Lynn.
Yes, I know. Absolutely, birthday girl.
Thank you.
Welcome tomorrow. A lot of people were looking for those investment properties. I'm always looking for a good investment property, and I have a rental property, and always looking to invest in others. But it does impact one's ability to make it pencil out when the monthly payment gets so high.
That's right.
With the interest rates up, it just doesn't make sense to have that rental property if the rent is not covering your expenses. Yeah.
So it was we had all these international buyers coming in with cash, and I guess for them, it makes sense to just plop their cash down and then, have it in a secured place in a different currency. But for me, even, so I talked to Rob, there's a house that I have listed, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the prices have fallen. Maybe I can finally, buy another investment property. But even with 25% down and the HOA dues and the increased property taxes in King County, a little 1,400 square foot, 3-bedroom townhome in a great location, it's still in Seattle $550,000, right? And the mortgage payment with the taxes and the HOA dues was $2,900.
Right.
So almost $3,000 a month I would have to pay. And so the rent that I could get on that place was only about $2,700 on a good day.
On a good day.
On a good day. Yep. So it still doesn't pencil because interest rates went up.
Right. So there's some other buyers who were in the game last year who have also dwindled away. So it's just it's a numbers game. Yeah. It's really who's out there.
So tell me a funny story about real estate. Do you have any funny stories? What's your wackiest?
I've got a wacky one.
Okay, give me a wacky story.
I was doing we were touring out in Covington with a great buyer of mine, and we had set up a scheduled showing, and it was all good to go. It was a vacant home. Went inside, and she actually brought a couple friends with her, so I now know, and I now do this religiously, when you open the door, you say, hello, agent showing, every time, because I knocked on the door, but I must not have been loud enough. We entered, and everything looked okay, but there were 2 sets of shoes at the bottom of the stairs, which I thought was a little odd. But we showed the first floor, made our way up to the second floor, and her friends had gone ahead, and there was 2 people in the master bathroom.
No way.
Oh, swear.
Oh my gosh! You never told me that story.
I don't know if I did. I think I was really wigged out.
Did you walk right in on it?
I didn't. The friend did. He came right out, and his eyes were bugging out of his head. He said, there's people in there.
There's people in there?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And you should trust the hair that stands up on the back of your neck. Because when I entered that home, I got that funny feeling.
Oh my god.
So that was kind of
That's
creepy.
really odd.
Called the agent. She had no idea who it was. Didn't know how they got in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a nightmare.
That's really crazy.
Yeah.
You have some really funny things happen to you. What about the
What
time?
else?
Well, where you sold your own home and you did the open house, and then somebody was sleeping in your bed.
Yes. That was a crazy open house just down the street here. I was selling my own personal property, and you're making your way through the open house, answering questions. And I went up to the master bedroom, and there's like 8 other people in the bedroom at the time, and the guy's just laying there on my pillow, just taking a little nap.
You were like, get out of my bed. What are you doing? That's so weird. It's so weird. Oh
It's
my
one
God.
thing if it's staged, but it was like my stuff.
Yeah.
It's funny. Funny stuff.
Do you want to hear a funny? Well, I don't know if I have like your stories.
You have to have so many more stories than I do.
I don't. One. So I had a listing, and it was in the Highlands, and these people, I think they must have gotten a babysitter or shipped their kids off or whatever. They were young parents, and I put in the remarks, call owner prior to showing. I told them very clearly, hey, your house is on the market. And they didn't either realize or didn't quite catch the text or the phone call. You're officially on the market. I made it, abundantly clear. And they were having a good old time. And
oh no!
And then there was a showing.
There was a showing.
There was a showing
at the showing.
There was a showing at the showing.
Oh no!
Yeah, so I got an earful from those clients, and
I know I kind of double, triple check now with everything. Like anytime I have a showing, or anytime I'm going to see a home, I just it's good to have your bases covered.
Sometimes those things
what you're gonna walk in on. I know.
Yeah.
The life of a real estate agent.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, day to day.
Well, Lynn, I hope we can continue. This is our first episode.
First one of many, we hope. We've been trying to do this for a long time, so we're launching this, and maybe we'll invite some of our clients to come join us. We might invite some other people in the industry maybe to come chat with us over wine and teach us something new.
Yes.
And
and then we'll just whine about real estate.
Whine about real estate all day long. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye, guys.